Hello there, my name is Dr. Carlo Ojer. I am a board-certified emergency physician with DrER.tv. And in this video, I want to talk to you of what I believe to be the most important definer of character for anyone who wants a career in healthcare. Let's talk about grit. G-R-I-T, grit. In an article in The Guardian, Angela Duckworth, a psychologist often called the guru of grit, defined it as the commitment to finish what you start, to rise from setbacks, to want to improve and succeed, and to undertake sustained and sometimes unpleasant practice in order to do so. Grit, in other words, is the perseverance or the passion for long-term goals. I think we'd all agree we will want all of our doctors to have grit. Not necessarily intelligence or IQ, interpersonal skills, or physical attractiveness. All of them are great, but grit allows people to succeed. The mental toughness allows anyone to endure losing battles, but to understand that failure is not permanent and to go on to win even a war if necessary. So how do you know if you have grit, or how do interviewers know if a medical student, pre-medical student, or future resident has grit? Well, there is a test for it. Grit can be measured by a brief survey. It is called the short form grit scale, and it's scored from 1 to 5 in a Likert scale. The Likert scale is 1 to 5. It has 8 questions for the grit questionnaires. Number 1, they'll ask you, new idea and projects sometimes distract me from previous one, and you have to 1 agree or 5 completely disagree. Setbacks don't discourage me. That's number 2. I've been obsessed with certain idea or project for a short time but later lost interest. Number 4, I'm a hard worker. Number 5, I often set a goal but later choose to pursue a different one. Number 6, I have difficulty maintaining my focus on projects that take more than a few months to complete. 7, I finish whatever I begin. And 8, I am diligent. In other words, in this scale, grit scale, you have to score yourself on how much you identified from very much so or very little so in this grit scale. One of the problems with trying to measure grit is that the grit scale is fairly easy to game. For example, in response to the statement, "I'm a hard worker," how many future doctors would describe themselves as not like me at all? Actually, if you can't get a high score on this grit scale, you're not only short on grit itself, but you're also lacking common sense and should not be licensed to care for sick patients if you can't even figure out what the right answer is to the question. But that is not the point of the video I'm trying to make. The point of this video is that if you do not have grit, you will not survive. Out of all the qualities you need to have to be a good doctor, intelligence, of course, diligence, empathy, character, etc., grit is by far the most important character thing that you can manifest in your own life. So if you don't have grit, you gotta get some. Let me tell you about grit in medical school. I trained in Puerto Rico, and I'm very, very proud of it. As a medical student, I delivered my own not my own babies, but I delivered babies on my own. We went to the OR, operating room, as second surgeon. We had to stay up all night treating patients, starting our own blood transfusion, starting IVs, drawing blood, pushing patients' bed to the X-ray machine, to CAT scan, to get them back, to get all the reports together. We did scut work. The senior residents would send us to buy food for them. We'd get it done. Nowadays, I think students and residents are pretty spoiled. They have a max on admissions. They have a max on the number of hours awake they need to be. Now that's all great for patient safety, and that's all great for the livelihood of these residents coming out of training. But one thing they're failing to do is to train them or build this grit into them so that they do whatever it takes to get the job done. I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Harvard Medical School says, train residents and medical students like you train Navy SEALs. It's tough, it's hard, it weans out the weak, but you'll end up with good, strong physicians, strong residents, strong medical students who do what needs to be done to get the job done. Whether it's 1 week, 1 month, 5 years of training, they'll get it done, they'll get through it. And that's what I want to talk to you about, grit. If I could hire someone that lacking knowledge or procedural skills, but have grit, they work hard, they do whatever it takes to move patients through the ER, that do any procedure, that change beds if needed be, to move to the next patient, to get things done, then that's what I'm looking for as somebody who's hiring a potential doctor or resident or physician assistant or whatever. I hope you find this video useful. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.